I feel like I should post this video to explain why I jump companies because I think a lot of the people that watch this channel are potentially new truck drivers that are following because you started watching my A, B, and C pre trip walkthrough in order to pass your CDL, and maybe you chain watched it so that you could memorize the parts, especially if you went to Bradway and you're going that way because maybe you watched the review of Bradway before you went to school and all that stuff. But I started with Werner, and I know a lot of people watch the what to expect from Werner Edge and the walkthroughs of the different Werner trucks that I've had, but I no longer work for Werner. I now work for a company called Blackhawk. They're based in Wisconsin. I switched companies because I was working for Werner on pods, and well, originally I was 48 state dry van, and I worked my way up to 42 cents a mile. But when I switched to pods, which is still 48 state OTR, they dropped me back down to 37 cents a mile. Well, I joined a Facebook group that was for pods drivers, and I asked the question of what everybody gets paid starting for the different companies, and USA Truck, Averitt, and Blackhawk all pay 49 cents a mile for the exact same work that Werner drivers are doing. Werner said they could not give me this kind of money. But that's not the only reason I jumped. Also, Werner had me driving a 2016 Freightliner that didn't have an inverter and ultimately was not as nice of a truck as I have now. Yes, now I'm driving a Volvo, and if you watch my channel, I don't like that China owns Volvo, but the truck is already bought, and it was built in the United States mostly, but the doors were built in Poland. But I'm not against Poland either because, well, they're not a communist dictatorship. In any case, I don't like that it's a Volvo, but the Volvo is better than my choice of the International. I didn't like the International that I had with Werner, not because, with Werner, that thing did have an inverter. I liked that, but Werner was cheap about the truck. But that's not the problem I mostly have with it. The biggest problem I have with the International is that the fucking thing has a design in the hood that is catches the sun midday, depending on your angle of the sun to the way you're driving on the road. And all right, Casper, I get it. I'm talking, so you want to be on video. That's and you're hot, and it's 30 degrees outside, but it's hot in this truck. In any case, damn dog, I'm trying to film a video. You want to be on video? You can be on video. You don't really want to be on video, do you? But I couldn't go with Averitt because they don't allow pets, and as you can see, there's a dog. There's a hot dog. His tail's not going. Oh yeah, it is. Just a little bit. What's the tail doing? Casper, what's the tail doing? You're not happy? Oh, there it goes. Okay, so, and I love my dog. He's a bit of a pain in the ass because anytime I try to film video, he wants to be on video. But in any case, Averitt, you can't be right up on the camera, dude. Averitt doesn't allow dogs, so I couldn't go with Averitt. And it was between Blackhawk and USA Truck. Now, having a second option is a good idea in the event that, say, Blackhawk doesn't work out. But so far, yeah, I don't mind this Volvo because I like the design in the Volvo. You heard my APU kick on. Werner doesn't buy APUs. This truck also has a fridge built into it, which Werner does not buy that shit either. So I have a nicer truck, and that nicer truck has better equipment. I have extra boxes on it. They also have me driving a 48-foot, Werner had me driving a 48-foot split axle that had me tearing up grass and hitting curbs and shit that I don't need to cut. I don't need to hit, and I don't need to tear up grass if I have a tandem axle, because pods, you can never be overweight. Right now I have 316s on the back of my 48-foot trailer, and they weigh a total of 30,000 pounds. They may not actually even weigh that much because, well, the way that all works is like pods have people's personal shit inside of them, and the stuff in your house, like they only allow a maximum of 10,000 pounds in a 16-foot pod. That doesn't mean that the stuff inside is actually 10,000 pounds. It is a cheaper way to ship shit like motorcycles across the country, and two motorcycles is not 10,000 pounds. So, it is what it is. But, um, yeah, so I now have a 48-foot tandem axle, and that's much better for cutting corners and parking, like the shorter, like shorter than the 53, so it turns quicker. And people that are watching me from Bradway, the trucks that you're driving around their yard are 48-foot long trailers. So more or less my flatbed handles just like the trailer that I took my test in. And like that's part of the reason I jumped, was for the nicer equipment that APU, so I can play my PlayStation and shit, and also because of nicer equipment in that I have a tandem axle trailer, which does handle much better and is easier to work with when there's no need for a split axle anyway, or a spread axle, whatever you want to call it. But also because last week I had, well, the biggest paycheck a bigger paycheck than I ever got from Werner, that after taxes was $1,800, because I got 4,400 miles and I'm getting paid 49 cents a mile. And like that's kind of the kicker, is that my first week on pods I made more money than I ever did any time with Werner. So they're like that was a big reason for jumping. Also, this company gives better home time, and like I got hired in October. I didn't start working until November. My cousin passed, sadly, rest his soul, just before Thanksgiving. They allowed me to go home for a week for Thanksgiving. Then I was home from the day before Christmas Eve until the day after New Year's Day for Christmas, despite the fact that I was home for Thanksgiving as well. Werner would not have allowed that unless I used like a family emergency leave time. So there's that. I get 2 days of PTO per quarter in my first year. And then I think in the second year they jump you up to 3 days of PTO per quarter. And you might get up to 5. Plus I'm getting the same week, a week out for a day of home time. So I get more days off. I have better equipment. They don't make me trade in my truck for extended days off. And I make more money. There's no downside to having switched companies. But for those of you that are, following me because I was a Werner driver, I just wanted to reach out to you guys and let you know why I switched. And it does make more sense. And I encourage you to do the same. Blackhawk does require you to have... Oh, dog. Blackhawk does require you to have 18 months of experience, so maybe you can't do it immediately. But once you serve your time with the low-paying mega fleets, I do recommend you get into a smaller company. This company also has much better health insurance, much better benefits in all cases, and the jump is worth it.